Clothing, in its most primary form, is used as a necessity to protect man from the environment, but it can often represent much more. The traditional garbs often possess a religious, symbolic, or physical significance made up of various elements attributed to that specific culture. What is interesting is the exploration of these significant differences.
They symbolize sort of like a culture based on what they wear. I mean, it could be
the colors,
it could be the colors, the cuts. It could be something that's been traditionally around for a long time that has either resurfaced or is like generally beloved by the public. I mean, I think those are. I mean, you look at sort of like the idea of like the sari, and that's something that's like forever going to be popular. You can be self-expressive within the confines of cultural dress. Now, I mean, certainly there are cultures that enforce something like that a lot more than others. Like if you take a look at, sort of women in the Middle East and wearing burqas and stuff.
When we go to church, we get all dressed up, and like sometimes the older women cover their head because it symbolizes respect that you're going into the house of God. I do. My mom usually does. Like I don't completely wear all black and just wear and cover, my ankles and cover my head when I go to church. But for example, my grandma, she still does that.
The Greek costume interprets the features of the country, such as love and beauty, with rich fabrics and decoration used to indicate the status of the wearer.
That is mandatory, that has to be worn, but that are worn for special occasions, events, celebrations, deaths. So saris, kurtas, lengas, salwar kameezes. There are also ornaments, so jewelry, bindis, what's worn on the forehead. The clothing isn't really symbolic for anything, but the jewel, the bindi used to be symbolic for a married woman. It also helps with the weather, so simple clothing, elaborate fabrics, which are very culturally or country specific. Cotton might be worn in maybe the north and the south, but heavier cottons might be worn more in the north because of
the Indian fashion is known for their saris, rich with vibrant colors made of wine silks with metallic thread embroidery, and are mostly worn on special occasions.
Traditional clothing, but we don't wear it on a regular basis, only on special occasions such as Chinese New Year, mooncake festivals, and other special occasions. Well, it symbolizes a lot of things. Like we have, for the women, we have like long dresses, robes, I guess, and they come in various colors, but the most common color is red because it symbolizes luck and prosperity. And for the men, it's pants and a shirt. But it also has both of the costumes both have embroidered different symbols such as dragons, flowers, yeah.
Okay.
The Chinese outfit is made of beautiful brocaded silk fabrics and colorful embroidery, along with matching shawls and slippers.
I lived in Spain for 3 years, and this is what I noticed about fashion. It differs among regions and provinces, but there are traditional styles for women and for men, depending on the tradition that's being celebrated. Such as, for the women, a lot of dresses, big dresses, colorful dresses, high heels, different types of shoes, depending on the tradition or the celebration that's going on. Different hats, too, and then the children would wear similar things, but on a lower scale. A lot of celebrations that symbolize rebirth, like the New Year, for example, bringing the New Year. Fertility was another one.
The Spanish adopted beautiful handmade lace and rich fabrics with very colorful designs and matching accessories.
Because Canada is so multicultural, but then at the same time, The industry is really small here, so a lot of the trends, sort of like the big trends, come more internationally than maybe just from Canada, and Canada sort of seems to be picking up on the same, picking up the same momentum as all of the other designers.
The kilt would be one of the traditional forms of wear, but my family also, because we're sort of from a newer age, we don't actually wear them, but they do represent clans, and they're called clans.
The Scottish attire consists of pleated, checked taffeta skirts and velvet vests, which are worn with lace blouses and dancing slippers.
For women, colorful skirts, knee-high socks, frilly dress shirts. The men also wear not baggy pants, but they're wide here and then they're tight at the bottom. Also with socks covering the pants, and the elf-like shoes. We wear it now during folk dances to symbolize our tradition and the way our ancestors used to do.
Serbian outfits portray quality fabrics, rich ornamentations, and artful, colorful designs. The moccasins are styled with turned-up toes.
On what the culture is and what the perceived notion is in terms of what they wear. Now, if you belong to a society where you've grown up wearing a specific form of dress, and that is something, and if it's a religion and a society that you believe in and that you agree with,
depends on the occasion. For example, if it's a festive occasion, you usually see a lot of color, sequins, lively feathers and stuff like that. But if it's like traditional, like church, you'll see a lot of big hats and usually white. You see short clothes, like light in fabric.
Due to the Caribbean's hot climate, cool cotton caftan is a colorful and popular man's outfit. The woman's costume is adorned with strings, beads, and red, blue, or gold sequins.
The wearing of traditional dress is most consistent with people who are Orthodox in faith. They may wear long overcoats, headdress, women wearing kerchiefs, men wearing taluses, and yarmulkes.
In Israel, embroidered yellow and blue kaftans and colorful flowing materials are used. These outfits are strictly worn for folk dancing in Canada.
In dress, every outfit is not necessarily what people of that culture are wearing now. Nicole is Malagasy and Japanese. It might not even be a necessary exact of what they've worn even in the past. It's a fashion interpretation of it. Oh, that's really beautiful.
Taking inspiration from something that you think is beautiful, that you think is special, and you're being inspired by that, and that by no way, to me, is like demeaning of a culture. It's taking inspiration because you admire that particular culture or that particular look, and you don't necessarily, I wouldn't say that you're interpreting, something like that to Western standards. I would say that the designer is interpreting something to his or her standards, to his or her standards.